It's so different than defending what a broker needs to defend, which is choosing an individual stock. I'm speaking not about company risk, I'm talking about market risk. And markets, as a general rule, are not risky, they're volatile. So there's a very big difference.
Now, Jacob, I understand that most of the work you do is with business owners and affluent families. Is there a particular reason that you chose that niche market?
Well, that's a good question. We decided years ago at Bernath and Rosenberg on the accounting side that rather than being a solution for every size and shape of client, that we're going to focus on the business owners and affluent families. And the smaller clients, very important people, they can better be served by smaller firms and sole practitioners. So now that we're bringing in the wealth management business into the firm, we thought it's the best idea is to align that philosophy for wealth management along with the accounting side. So that we're, again, like we said before, we put the clients on the table and every aspect of that person's financial life aligns and complements each other. So to summarize, we would rather do everything for less clients than just some things for many people.
That's in general an important business practice. If a company tries to be everything to everyone, then they are nothing to no one. Now, maybe you can give me an example of the type of clients that are most suited for your company. Let's talk about some examples just so that people wrap their head around it.
The more complicated the client is, the better.
Wow. You're not afraid of challenges, it seems.
We welcome challenges.
It's interesting. A client will come in and let's say they're in their 40s. That's 20 years of being exposed to people and all their great ideas. So we'll end up getting besides all the tax craziness, we'll get statements from 8 to 10 different brokerage firms. They'll have different kinds of life insurance policies. They'll be invested in different real estate ventures because this guy said do this guy said that. They don't even know what they have. They don't know what they have. And I sometimes I'll joke with them. I'll say, let's say you take all these investments and it adds up to $5 million. Okay, I'll say to the client, if you had $5 million in cash, would you take that $5 million and put it exactly where it is now? I'll say, of course not. Of course not. It's crazy the amount of mail that I get. I don't know whether the distributions I'm receiving from these real estate investments are really taking place. I don't know if the K1s match what they say I'm distributing. So they're looking to simplify their lives because they're typically a business owner and they want to focus on their business. They want to know that someone else is taking care of everything, overseeing everything else. So we offer some really great tools. We have software that's an asset aggregation tool. So whether we're managing the money or not, the client every day, 10 times a day, if he's neurotic, he can see everything he has on one screen, whether they are real estate investments, whether they're credit card balances, whether they are brokerage accounts, they could see everything.
Fascinating. Is there a demo of that so the listeners have?
Of course.
It's on the website, bernathandrosenberg.com?
Yes,
that's fantastic.
Yes. So the clients get to...
If I could interject for a second, this software actually can log into 6,000 different financial institutions where you set up your own password and your own login information, and every time you log onto the software, it aggregates the information live from all these financial institutions.
Wow. Comprehensive dashboard, financial dashboard.
Right.
That's
perfect description.
And to even add to that, we can upload a virtual vault on this software where clients can put their passports on it, all their important documents. So the family knows that, God forbid, something happens to the breadwinner, we are the go-to guy to come to. Everything is here, and clients really appreciate that.
I have to just jump in before I get to Benjamin. How many? I'm afraid to ask this question, but I'm just going to ask: how many people, when they come in, they have it all in order, and how many say, I can't believe that you guys, Bernath and Rosenberg, handle this because my data is just all over the place.
Right. No, absolutely.
9 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Somewhere in between those two. But eventually we become the client's personal CFO.
Right.
We're like their personal CFO. So a business has a CFO, But these high net worth individuals and these business owners, they need a personal CFO, and we play that role.
Wow.
I mean, I know
Benjamin.
we become the trusted advisor to these clients as you begin to know more and more about their financial picture. I'm holding in my office sealed envelopes from a number of clients that if, God forbid, something happens to them, the spouse knows. Call Benjamin. He has an envelope with all my passwords in there, login information, safe deposit keys. In fact, it's a secure place in my office. I don't know what's in the envelope, but they know in case of emergency or disaster who to call.
Well, I'm going to turn to Jacob. Regarding the investment side of your business, what do you say to someone who has just experienced yet another couple of months of strong volatility? But when they look at their portfolio, the December statement shows that their portfolio is down. Now, and this question is a fair question because you're coming off of 2018 when the market went boop, 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 back and forth, up and down on almost a daily basis. So, how would you answer that?
Okay, it's a very important question. We're very proactive during these periodic volatile times.
Okay.
And the clients know already. I just remember calling a client in December during this craziness.
Right.
And he picks up the phone and says, I know why you're calling. I'm with you already through a few of these cycles. And don't worry, I'm just fine. I'm fine. We understand this roller coaster ride. So it's so different than defending what a broker needs to defend, which is choosing an individual stock. I'm speaking not about company risk. I'm talking about market risk. And markets, as a general rule, are not risky. They're volatile. So there's a very big difference. I also remind my clients of the discussion that we had when we sat down initially to do the wealth management and the financial planning. And we speak about long-term investing. We have the philosophy, we call them the 3-bucket philosophy.
Okay.
We have the short-term bucket, the mid-term bucket, and the long-term bucket. And the short-term bucket, which is money that the client needs over the next couple of years, no volatility there. Very short-term investments.
Gotcha.
So during these volatile times, third bucket's going like this a little bit.
Okay.
But look at your first bucket. You have what you need for the next couple of years. Let the markets do what they do. You're safe. You're comfortable. And I also tell them when we sit down initially, say, I don't make any guarantees. I just make one guarantee. I guarantee you that there are going to be days that the market is down. and I remind them of that promise I made them. So some people talk about what they call and say, hey, maybe I should just cut my losses and
I'm sure you get
come
that question.
back in. I get
these
that,
days probably daily.
I want to give you this crazy example. He loses 70% of his investment. So there you may want to talk about cutting losses on an individual holding. But when you're talking about the entire market, if someone wants to cut their losses like some people did in 08, 09, they don't know when to get back in. If they're trying to time it, they don't know when to get back into the market. So
what's your general
advice? General advice is diversification, believe in capitalism, and on the long-term investments, we ride it out. And one other thing we do is called rebalancing. I don't want to get too technical, but when the market's down, we buy into that down so that we recover more quickly.
But maybe you can explain that rebalancing.
So usually we'll take a portfolio, and the total portfolio adds up to 100%, of course, and we'll let's say we'll do 70% of that portfolio is, let's say, in equities, and 30% is in fixed income. And when the market really takes a beating, so the 70% suddenly becomes 60% because the equities are down. The fixed income, we're mostly in short-term fixed income, so that's not affected. So suddenly that's taking up 40% of the portfolio. We'll sell off some of that fixed income position and buy the same stocks, the same portfolio at a cheaper price. So, and back in 08, 09, our portfolios came back to even much quicker than the market.
I want to add one thing to what Jacob was just discussing about asset allocation. Taking your assets and dividing it about 3 or 4 different money managers is not considered asset allocation because they can all be invested in the same asset class.
Right.
When you have one person that's dividing it and spreading it into different buckets that Jacob mentioned, that's true asset allocation.
I love the honor of interviewing C-level executives and sharing their great advice and perspective on Mind Your Business. I'd love to get your feedback. Post it in the comments below and subscribe. You'll never miss an edition of Mind Your Business.